Okay, my name's Dave Lockwood again. I'm with Demolition, and what we're doing is this is our journey growing our business from the one location that we have now, and we feel like we have a very unique concept. It's a very basic thing, but it's a very unique concept, and we feel like we want to impact the world, or people that are interested in doing this or learning this, and there's a lot of very cool upsides. It all works together very good. And what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about mindset. Okay, so I was thinking about what we're doing here, and I'm thinking about I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, man, I wish I could just download what's in my head and give it to you, to this person. And what I'm talking about is they were discouraged about something, and it was a very very minor thing. Okay, so it got me to think about my journey and what Logan and Talon have learned from me and through me and on their own. So everything you do, it's rarely easy. It's typically anything you're just learning how to do for the first time is not easy. Let's use things like let's say riding a bike. Well, how many times did you crash when you were learning to ride a bike? You know, how many times did you feel like you were going to drown when you were learning how to swim? Now, if you haven't learned how to swim or you haven't learned how to bike, I would recommend that you go learn these things, because these are things that are going to build your life skills. When you're in business, there isn't a very strong right and wrong. What I have found is that the things that I've learned through the college of life. The college of life, to me, is the school of hard knocks. If you notice the way I speak and you notice my vocabulary, I'm not a scholar. I don't want to be a scholar either. I'm just a regular dude who learned some stuff, and we have become successful in a business stance. We've become successful in a business. Okay, not just this business, another business, until the market crashed. And back when the market crashed, don't take a lot of responsibility for any of that, because we weren't swimming upstream. We were doing something normal. We weren't overly leveraged, but we were when it came down to it, because they basically shut the faucet off. We had a huge amount of equity. We just didn't have a lot of cash, and for me, the cash was going to come later when I accumulated enough that I would just pause and it would build up. And there was no reason to. I had plenty of money to live on, and I had plenty of money to run the companies, and it worked great. But then guess what? Snap of a finger, the whole economy changed. The way that they do lending and stuff changed. There's nothing I could do about it. So, I could lay and cry and talk about my past for the rest of my life, or I could move on. So I went through a depressing situation for many years. When I jumped into the junk removal business, I wasn't like, boy, I want to become a junk removal guy. That wasn't me, I wanted to be, I liked the real estate stuff. It was glamorous, and it was sexy. It was fun. A lot of meetings, a lot of parties, a lot of stuff like that. And it was interesting. So, and I played that game for a while, became a very good realtor for a while. But you know what it did? It taught me. It taught me dealing with customers. It taught me how people think. It taught me that there are certain styles of people. And it also taught me that I didn't want to try to be the person to encourage people who can't get out of their own way to do things. And that's what happened in the real estate business. What I found myself doing is starting to become an encourager, and And I found that people came back later on and, 50% of them were happy and 50% of them weren't. And they weren't happy because I helped them violate their own personal rules by saying, look, you have all the information here. You have enough information to make this decision. This is a house. That house over there and that house over there, they're just houses. So you need to pick one. If you want to do this, you need to pick one. The one thing that I can tell you is even if the market does crazy stuff, they're going to become worth more money. They are. So you got to pay some money to live somewhere. You might as well be paying it to yourself or building your own equity. And I'm very pro real estate. We have a lot of real estate now. All the things I learned back then, I've applied them here. So let's talk about mindset. Okay. What you need, if you don't already have it, you need to develop what people call it's called grit. It's called what you got to do is learn that when something happens, it didn't happen to you. It just happened. And the universal rule of real estate, I want to say real estate. Take that back. It's not real estate. The universal rule of entrepreneurship is this: if you add value, you make money. If you add impact, you make money. If you make money in this capitalistic environment, you can prosper. If you are smart about how you do things and you follow the rules, the IRS rules and things like that, you can do very well very quickly. And let me tell you something, there's no competition. There's no competition. Nobody's trying. Most people just give up. They give up. They don't think they can do it. They go talk to people around them and they say, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And the people around them, they burst their bubbles. So I look at what you learn, and again, there is no new information. Now there is new technologies. There's new things that are created that way. But what I mean, there's no new information when it comes to the way humans are and how humans think. What I mean by that is this. The same thought processes that went through Aristotle's brain is going through your brain. The same way that he was influenced, you are influenced. We are all influenced. We are so easily influenced as human beings. So if you have encouragers in your life, you probably have tried a lot of different things and you may have failed at a lot of them. Well, success leaves clues, but so do failures. Failures are only an attempt at trying something that didn't work. It's not really a failure. It's a learning experience. So a learning experience is when you try something and it doesn't work. Let's say you're in the real estate business, or let's say you're in the demolition business. You run ads and you spend $10,000 with Google Ads and you get squat for it. Well, guess what? It's a learning experience. Now, do Google Ads work? Absolutely. Did they work for you? They probably didn't. If you lost $10,000. But the reality of it is did you lose everything? Are you adding impact for the future? Do most people who look at your business model look at it now and don't do anything for 6 months? I mean, for example, if you're demoing a house, that's not something that's taken lightly. You don't just get up one day and say, I'm going to demo my house. No, there's a lot of planning. There's a lot of things that go into it. It takes time. You got to get plans together and all the things that come into play. Plus, you're tearing down an asset. Now you're going to have a vacant lot. So these are all things that you got to look at. Okay, so I spent $10,000. Did I just waste it? I don't know. Did you get a little more? Did you get more out there? Did people see you a little bit more? Did that person who's going to call you in 6 months, did he write down your number in that? And is he going to call you? Yeah, I think it happens. So can you waste a lot of money doing Google Ads or Facebook advertising or any of that? Yes, you can. So you want to do as good of a job as you can. But you can't not try it, because if you don't try it, what you end up is the result is already given. If you don't try it, you're not going to get anywhere. So success leaves clues. Where did I get that statement from? I've gotten it. Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozy. I've listened to Little Grant Cardone. I've listened to all these guys, and you know what? None of this is new information. It's all the same stuff repackaged and sent back out to you. The reality of it is if you don't quit, you can't lose. But you got to look at what you're doing, because you can chase your tail. I mean, think about this. As a dog chasing his tail, is he doing something? Yes, he is doing something. But is he getting anywhere? Well, guess what? That's everybody you know. They have these dreams, they have these aspirations, and they have these, I want to say goals. They really don't have goals because they don't really set them and they don't really follow them. They just assume that what they've been dished or whatever they've been given, that's just what it is. That's what they got in life. They're like a ship without a rudder. Let's say you put a ship without a rudder and you leave England and you're heading, in theory, you're heading to America, but you don't make a plan. You don't have a rudder on the back of your boat, and you get out on the ocean and the wind blows you here and the wind blows you there and the currents take you here and the currents take you there. Well, that's life for most people. Does it have to be life? Does that have to be life for you? It doesn't. What you got to do is you got to say, okay, this is what I want. Okay? Then you got to say, why do I want it? I want it for this. Make it real. Make it important in your mind. Then sit down and write it down. Say, hey, I'm going here. Now make a plan. Okay? How am I going to do that? Okay? I say you find something that you love that you can make money at. Because if you love what you're doing, you'll never work another day in your life. Now, if you've read a lot of the mentorship books that I've read, you read this same thing in every book. It's the same stuff. It's packaged a different way. It's given to you in a different way, but it's the same thing. So if you love what you do, now I love what I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the challenges. I love biting off new stuff. I like learning new things. It's exciting to see stuff that most people don't get to see. That's what our channel does. It brings people into the world that we live in, which is kind of very unique. And it's a fascinating thing. So find something that you love, then start practicing. Learn. Find mentors. People, anybody I know that's a mentor, that I would want to be a mentor, they won't even talk to me. You don't have to talk to them. What you do is you have this man named, let's say, Tony Robbins, and he wrote down everything he knows how to do in a book. Or in 20 books, in his case. So you can get inside his world and you can glean what he has learned through reading his book. Then let's say there's another guy that's got another book out and it's more specifically in what you're interested in, what you're really excited about. Now, I like the junk removal business because there's like a million things I like about the junk removal business. So let me tell you about that. The junk removal business, first of all, I get to meet people and it's kind of fun and they're excited when I get there and I go. And I like have a short attention span, so it's very rewarding to me because I get to show up, perform a task, and walk out the door within an hour and I've accomplished something and people are very happy. I get to make money there and then I look at what I get and I turn around and I go, I'm going to make money on that too. So I get to make money coming and going. For years. Now I'm not there now. Okay. Now where I live now is my dream home. I have my dream cars. I have a lot of things because I've put forth the effort and I failed so much. I failed. I learned. I failed. I learned. I failed. I learned. I failed. I learned. And then with Logan and Talon, I was able to get them to buy into the fact that they don't have to learn all the same things all over again that I learned. If they wanted stand on my shoulders like I stood on Tony Robbins' shoulders, and I stood on Brian Tracy's shoulders, and Alex Hormozy, and all these other guys that are out here. And I've learned from them. These are like I said, they're my mentors. So what happens is, now what happens is, you get to have success. And so the junk removal business, you know what gets me excited? I have like a year or 2 years worth of toilet paper in my house, and I didn't pay for any of it. Now, okay, it's stupid. I know it's stupid, but it's fun. Paper towels. Never ever buy paper towels. I used to, when Logan and I were getting started back over, we rarely ever bought canned goods. I rarely ever bought peanut butter. I rarely ever bought toothpaste. I rarely ever bought a lot of different things, because we would go into an estate. The guy died 3 months ago, and everything in his house is there, and it's not expired or anything. You know, why throw away food that's in a pantry that there's nothing wrong with? So, you know, some of you, the ickiness of that would just drive you nuts. But, you know, we were surviving. We were getting our wheels back on, and it worked. So all these different things, the junk removal business, if you can get your mind around that, it's a good way to step into something else, because you can make a very good living and not use up all of your time. It's also very scalable. It's a fairly easy thing to scale. And I'm not talking about the 1-800 junk model. I'm not talking about buying $160,000 trucks. I'm talking about doing it the way we've done it. If you do it the way we've done it, you can get everything for a reasonable price. You're not going to have a huge amount of debt to carry, and it works really, really well. The cost to advertise is low, and the biggest thing is using these things that you get from these jobs. You got to learn how to get them, and to get things that are good, and to not. You're paying. It's kind of like going to Storage Wars. But this is like Storage Wars on steroids, because what happens is you advertise in the rich neighborhoods around you, and you go in and you do junk removals for them. Well, these people are not going to have yard sales. They're not going to put stuff on Craigslist. They're not going to meet people 5 or 6 times to sell them something, and they're going to give it to you and pay you to get it out of their way. They're just sick and tired of it, and they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to go buy a hand truck. They don't want to borrow their friend's truck. They don't want to do any of that stuff. So what that does is it creates an opportunity for yourself. Now, can you buy stuff? Sure. You know, same model works. You know, you get it, you put it on Craigslist, you put it on Facebook Marketplace, you lower it the way that we teach you how to do. And the next thing you know, you've got 500 things on Craigslist that you've got scattered in different places, because you're keeping your costs low, and you're making great money, and it leaves you enough time. Let's say you want to learn how to do internet advertising, or you want to learn how to do Amazon advertising, or you want to learn how to do something else. I don't know, whatever it is that floats your boat. But what I'm telling you here is, it's all about your mindset. You have to get the mindset. You can't let the people around you influence you. We are, as human beings, so easily influenced. If your mom says that ain't going to work, your dad says that ain't going to work, and your best friend says that ain't going to work, well, you start to believe it. But guess what? They're wrong. They're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. So don't ask them. Find somebody who's kicking it, somebody who's getting it, and make them your friend. Get to know them. Ask them questions. Say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Oh, I tried that, and if you do it, you need to do this, 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 and this. And even that, you got to qualify where it's coming from. Or they're gonna poo-poo what you got going on, because they don't know anything about it, and they just know their own thing. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful about what you let in this up here. You live your life between your ears. Okay, you do. You live your life between your ears. So at any rate, this is Dave Lockwood with Remove It Pros Demolition, and I'm just talking about mindset. I'm talking about, don't let the poo-poo people poo-poo your stuff. Don't let the people who don't know anything about anything, who spend all their time playing little games and stuff like that, and they're just burning their time. The only thing you have is time, and they're just burning up their time, and they're just existing. You don't want to exist. This is an awesome time to be alive. There's so much opportunity out there. And money is not, it's not the end all be all, but what it does is it gives you options. Okay. So if you're a really crappy person, you're going to be even crappier with money. If you're a really good person, you can be an even better person because you have money and you can do things with it. You can be impactful. You can help people around you and so on and so forth. So again, it's David Lockwood. Remove It Pros Demolition is our main channel. This is Remove It Pros Junk Removal and Pure Entrepreneur, and we'll see you on the next video.